So I have a question for you. How much of your week is spent doing things that you would just classify as, I don't know, drudgery? The stuff that makes you feel like a highly paid robot. Summarizing these infinite rows of Excel data, drafting emails where you have to pretend to be cheerful.
The administrative quicksand. We all know it well. And
Yeah.
and that's usually where we pitch AI as the solution, right? Use AI to automate the boring stuff so you can be more human.
Exactly. But today, we're kind of flipping that script entirely. We aren't looking at how to be a better spreadsheet manager.
Okay.
We're looking at a source that promises to turn you into a creative director. And the wildest part, it claims you can do this in literally 1 hour.
It's a bold claim. We're diving into hour 6, the Creative Empowerment Playbook. And I really like this source because it tackles a very specific frustration. I think a lot of people try visual AI tools, image generators.
Right?
And they just bounce off them. They type in funny cat, they laugh, and then they go right back to work because they don't see how it applies to their actual job.
I am definitely guilty of that. I've made plenty of cats in spacesuits, but I've not made a single asset for a presentation.
And that's exactly what this playbook is about. It argues that clarity of thought is the new design skill.
Oh, I like that.
The premise is pretty simple. The barrier to creating professional assets, so posters, social content, slides, it's no longer a technical skill. You don't need to know how to draw. You don't need Photoshop.
You just need to know how to describe what you see in your head.
That's it.
Which is fantastic news for me because my drawing skills, they peaked in 3rd grade. My stick figures are tragic.
Well, you're in luck. The playbook suggests that if you can speak clearly, you can design beautifully. But, and this is important, it requires a shift in how you view the software.
Okay.
You have to stop thinking of it as an app or, a tool.
And start thinking of it as
a design team.
I love this framing in this source. It really personifies the whole AI landscape. You're not just using AI, you're managing a roster of specialists.
Right. I mean, if you were running a creative agency, you wouldn't ask your accountant to go paint a mural in the lobby.
No, you'd hire a muralist.
You'd hire a muralist. The source breaks down the current AI landscape into 3 specific roles that, they mirror a human creative team.
So let's meet the team. First up, we have the concept artist.
And in this playbook, that role is played by ChatGPT. Now, that trips people up sometimes because they think of ChatGPT as the text bot.
Sure.
But specifically, its image generation capabilities, which are powered by Dale, it functions as this raw ideation engine. It's the artist in the beret just throwing paint at a canvas.
So this is where you go when you have a wild, kind of vague idea.
Exactly. It's for invention. You need to visualize a futuristic city made of glass or a logo concept for a new product. You go there. It's fantastic for getting ideas out, but it's messy. It is not where you go for the final polish.
Right, that's where the second team member comes in. Canva AI. The playbook calls this the Layout Pro.
And this distinction is so crucial. ChatGPT can make a beautiful image, but if you ask it to put a paragraph of text over it or format it for an Instagram story, it struggles.
Oh, I've seen that. You ask for a happy birthday sign, and the AI spells it like HAPTPPBLRTH.
It hallucinates text. So you use Canva for the finish. It's the team member who understands spacing and fonts and layouts, and it takes that raw creative energy and it packages it.
So ChatGPT creates the alien landscape, but Canva puts the coming soon text over it in a font that actually looks good.
Precisely. And then there's the third member, which I think is kind of the sleeper hit of the group, Microsoft Designer.
The corporate partner.
Yeah, it sounds boring, I know, but its superpower is integration. It's also powered by Daily, but it lives inside the ecosystem most of us work in.
Right. PowerPoint, Word.
So if you're deep in a presentation and you need a specific visual right now to make your point, this is your go-to. It's the team member who's always at their desk and, knows the company brand guidelines.
So step 1 isn't OpenAI, it's know who to call. Don't call the Layout Pro when you need a concept artist. But here's the problem I always run into. I pick the right tool, I open it up, I type something in, and the result is just weird.
The uncanny valley effect.
Yes. People with 7 fingers or eyes looking in different directions. The playbook calls this the gap between a basic prompt and a best prompt.
And this is where most people fail. They assume the AI is smart enough to fill in all the blanks. They treat it like a search engine.
Right.
If you type office meeting into Google Images, you get a million results. If you type office meeting into an image generator, the AI has to mathematically construct an image based on the average of every office meeting image it's ever seen.
The average of every office meeting image is Pretty boring.
It's beige walls, lifeless stairs, generic suits, it's stock photo energy.
So how do we fix it? The source material gives this progression that I thought was really helpful.
It starts by moving from basic to better. You have to stop being generic and start adding, props and vibes. So instead of office meeting, you try something like, create a bright, friendly illustration of an office team meeting around a conference table with laptops and coffee.
Okay, so now we have a scene. We have props, laptops, coffee. We have a tone-friendly.
But the gold standard, the even better prompt, that's where you take real creative control. Just listen to the difference here. Create a colorful, modern illustration of an office team meeting. The team looks friendly. The room is bright with large windows and plants.
I can visualize that instantly.
That's the point. The adjectives colorful, modern, bright, they're doing all the heavy lifting. You're giving the AI specific constraints. You're telling it, don't give me the average, give me this specific vibe.
It's interesting because be specific is advice we hear for everything, right? From writing emails to ordering dinner. But here, it's the literal mechanism of action.
The AI can't read your mind, only your text. And that leads us to the absolute core of this playbook. The source doesn't just say, be specific, because that's hard to do in the moment. It actually gives us a formula.
I love a good cheat sheet. If you take nothing else away from this deep dive, this is the part to write down.
It's 4 variables. Subject plus setting plus style plus mood, success.
SSM. Subject, setting, style, mood.
Yeah.
Let's unpack those because I think the nuance really matters. Subject seems obvious. It's the thing in the picture.
It is the what, but even there people are too vague. A dog is a subject. A golden retriever puppy wearing a red bandana is a good subject. You have to anchor the image.
Okay, then setting.
Where is it? And again, don't just say outside. Is it a park, a busy city street, a quiet library? The setting provides all the context and, the background lighting.
Now, style. This is the one where I feel like I get stuck. I don't know art history. I don't know the difference between Impressionism and Cubism.
And you don't need a degree in art history, but you do need to know what you want the output to look like. Is it a 3D render, a flat vector illustration, a Polaroid photo, a pencil sketch? If you don't specify the style, the AI will guess.
And it usually guesses wrong.
It guesses wrong. It'll give you that hyper-glossy AI look that everyone hates.
And finally, mood.
The vibe. Is it professional, cheerful, dark and moody, cinematic? This tells the AI how to handle the lighting, the color palettes. A cinematic setup is very different from a cheerful cartoon setup.
Let's see this in action. The source uses a company picnic as the example.
Right, so let's just run the formula. Subject, employees at a company picnic.
Okay.
Setting, in a park.
That-
Style, cartoon style. Mood, bright and cheerful.
And the result described in the source is, practically perfect. You get a sunny scene, people on blankets, playing games, food everywhere. It's consistent.
Now play with the variables. Imagine if you change just one thing. Keep the subject, employees, and setting, park. But change the style to black and white noir photography and the mood to mysterious.
Okay, suddenly your company picnic looks like a scene from a detective movie. It's all shadowy, dramatic, maybe a little ominous.
Exactly. You are controlling the output by manipulating those variables. This is why I say clarity is a design skill. You have to know what you want before you ask.
This is great for making fun images, but I do want to pivot to the utility part of the playbook. Because I can hear the skeptic in our audience saying, that's cute, but I have a quarterly business review on Tuesday. I don't need noir photos of a picnic.
And that's the crucial pivot. This is not just about art, it's about assets. The source highlights these really specific use cases that happen in almost every office and how this formula changes them.
The example that really stood out to me was the safety training flyer. We've all seen that sad, black and white Word doc taped to the break room fridge. Safety training, Friday.
It's invisible wallpaper. No one sees it, which means no one comes, which is bad for compliance. So the playbook suggests using the formula to create a custom visual. The prompt example was something like, design a simple professional flyer announcing a safety training session.
But they went even simpler, a safety sticker.
Right. Create a professional yet visually appealing safety sticker for equipment. I mean, think about the psychology there. If a warning label looks professionally designed, clean lines, authoritative colors, you instinctively trust it more. You obey it.
But if it looks like someone drew it with a Sharpie or used clip art from 1995, you just ignore it.
You ignore it. So the aesthetic quality actually drives compliance. That's a real business metric.
It communicates authority.
Absolutely.
There was another example about office culture, the birthday card.
This seems small, but it's huge for morale. Usually you go to the store, buy a generic card, everyone signs it, it's fine. But the playbook suggests generate a personalized birthday card for Sarah with a unique illustration.
So if you know Sarah is obsessed with, say, medieval fantasy and cats,
You run the formula, subject, cat in armor, setting, castle, style, oil painting, mood, epic. And suddenly that's not just a generic happy birthday, it's I see you, I know you. It builds culture in a way a store-bought card never could.
or the digital welcome sign for a new hire.
Yes. Design a dynamic digital welcome sign for a new hire, including team photos. The new person walks in, sees their name on the big screen with a custom high-end graphic. They feel like they've joined a modern company, not a dinosaur.
It's these little touch points that create a brand for your internal communications. And speaking of brand, social media is the other huge bucket they mentioned.
Right, because often you have the text, maybe AI even wrote the caption for you, but you need the image to match. So using that design team concept, you can make sure the mood variable in your text matches the mood in your image. It creates consistency.
I wanted to challenge O2 from the source, because this is where things got a little bit sci-fi. They did an experiment on reimagining the workspace they called style hopping.
I love this term, style hopping.
Yeah.
It sounds like a dance craze, but it's actually a really powerful brainstorming technique. It's the idea of taking one core concept, in this case, a futuristic version of our office, and just running it through different style filters to see what happens.
So the core prompt is roughly, create an image of a futuristic version of our office with advanced technology and modern furniture. But then they just swap the style variable.
First, they tried cartoon, and the result is playful, approachable. It looks like a fun startup where everyone rides scooters and drinks kombucha. It makes the future feel safe.
Then they flipped it to realistic.
And suddenly you have high-tech glass walls, sleek metal, very cold but impressive. It looks like a Fortune 500 headquarters in 2050. It just screams efficiency and power.
And then my personal favorite, retro-futuristic.
I knew you'd like that one.
Neon lights, synthwave vibes, lots of purple and pink. It looks like the office is inside a video game arcade from 1985, but, in the future.
It's visually striking, but think about the application. Would you pitch that to a conservative board of directors? Probably not. But for an internal hackathon poster, absolutely.
Then they stripped it way back with minimalist. Clean lines, almost sketch-like.
Which is perfect for an architectural blueprint or a subtle background on a slide where you don't want to distract from the data. The insight here is that you don't have to settle for the first draft. The style variable is your most powerful lever for changing how the audience feels.
But let's say you run the formula. You do everything right. Subject, setting, style, mood. You hit enter. And the result is almost good. But the lighting's weird, or the person has 3 arms. Do you scrap it and start over?
No, and this is a crucial mindset shift the playbook emphasizes.
Yeah.
It calls this the art of refinement. You don't scrap, you iterate.
It's a conversation, not a vending machine.
Correct. The source shows a before and after of a park scene. The first image was fine, a green park. But then they used follow-up commands. They didn't rewrite the whole prompt. They just said, make it more colorful.
And the AI just adjusts that one element.
Yep. Then, add more people. Then, change lighting to golden hour.
Golden hour is a cheat code. It makes everything look better.
It really does, that warm, soft light. But look at the dynamic there. You're treating the AI like a junior designer. If you hired a junior designer right out of college and they brought you a draft, you wouldn't look at it and say, this is wrong, you're fired.
You'd say, good start, but can we make the lighting warmer? Can we add some life to the background?
Exactly. You're refining through dialogue, and that feels much less intimidating. You don't have to get the perfect prompt on the very first try. You just need to get close and then steer it home.
It takes the pressure off. You don't have to be a prompt engineer wizard. You just have to be a good editor.
The expert users aren't the ones with the biggest vocabulary. They're the ones who are good at the follow-up. They know how to nudge.
So if we zoom out and look at the 5 truths the playbook concludes with, it really brings this whole thing together.
Let's run through them.
Yeah.
Number 1, AI is visual. It's not just text anymore. If you're only using it for emails, you're leaving massive value on the table.
Number 2, the tools are ready. Your design team, ChatGPT, Canva, Microsoft Designer, is hired and waiting. They don't take coffee breaks.
Number 3, the formula works. Subject plus setting plus style plus mood. It is your safety net against bad images.
Number 4, clarity is king. The machine can't read your mind, only your description. Be vague, you get average.
And number 5, speed matters.
That last one is interesting. Why does speed matter so much here?
Because the ability to design instantly changes how you work. We are moving away from the era of, I'll put in a request with the graphics department and get a draft next Tuesday.
To, I need a poster for the meeting in 10 minutes, let's just generate it.
It collapses the barrier to entry. And I think that's the big picture here. The barrier used to be technical skill. Can you draw a hand? Can you use the pen tool in Photoshop? Do you understand color theory?
Now, the only limit is, can you describe what you see?
The technical barrier is gone. It's been replaced by a conceptual barrier.
Which is fascinating because it means creativity itself is changing definition.
That's the provocative thought I'm left with after this. If the AI creates the image based on your words, does creativity stop being about making things with your hands? Does it become entirely about articulating ideas with your mind?
Are we moving from an era of creation to an era of curation?
I think we are. You become the editor-in-chief of your own imagination. You're not holding the paintbrush anymore, you're directing the artist.
Yeah.
And that is a very different, but maybe a more powerful skill set.
It means the people who are best at talking and thinking clearly are about to become the best designers. Which is good news for us podcasters.
Let's hope so.
So here's our challenge to you, the listener. The next time you have to send a boring email or update a slide deck that looks like it was made in the last century, just stop. Open up one of these tools. Don't just type slide background.
Use the formula. Subject plus setting plus style plus mood.
See if you can turn a wall of text into a world. Give your new design team a spin.
And see what comes back.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
Maybe